Om Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Welcome to another Yoga Small Talk, and we continue with 7 minutes of Bhagavad Gita a day. The study of this beautiful scripture that can really transform your outlook on life and give you wonderful tools to conduct your life in the best possible way, to feel better inside and outside. And we are in chapter 2, verse 54. We read this, and we saw that in this verse, Arjuna is asking Lord Krishna, what, O Krishna, is the description of him who has steady wisdom and is merged in the superconscious state? How does one of steady wisdom speak? How does he sit? How does he walk? We said Arjuna wants to know more of the characteristics. And we will see Lord Krishna's answer in the next talks. But for this talk, I wanted to read a little bit from the Autobiography of Swami Shivananda. This is actually from the introduction to this very, very beautiful book. It is available free online and it's very highly recommended. I will include the link to the book in the description to the book. And there in this introduction, it's answering the same question. So I will read. This is by Swami Sadananda, Saraswati. The introduction to the Autobiography of Swami Shivananda. When I received the set of manuscripts bearing the title Autobiography of Swami Shivananda, I jumped with joy because I expected, as I believe many would expect, that there was a chance to know many of the details of the Master's life, which in spite of my fairly long stay with him running into many years, I was unable to learn either from him or from anyone else. So, this great disciple of Swami Shivananda wants to know more. What does he want to know more? What does a man of steady wisdom looks like? How does he talk? You know, he wants to know more about this stage of steady wisdom. So he has his direct experience from the time with Swami Shivananda. But when this book comes in his hand, he's like, hey, yes, now I can know more. Just like Arjuna wants to know more. But how great was my surprise, not to say disappointment, when I found that I could not obtain even a glimpse of what my little mind was curious to know. So if you read this book, you will see that it doesn't really tell us what Swami Shivananda had for breakfast. It's not relevant for the readers, Swami Shivananda thinks. And it also doesn't tell us anything intimate about Swami Shivananda. It immediately directs us inwards to the teaching. The book is actually a teaching through the experiences of Swami Shivananda. So in the same way as we will see that Lord Krishna is immediately telling Arjuna, don't look outside, look into the mind of the person, then you will know if he's of steady wisdom or not. Swami Shivananda was doing the same in his autobiography. And this student of Swami Shivananda was an advanced student, Swami Sadananda Saraswati. He immediately understood what the master was doing, and he writes, yet after laying down the manuscripts and thinking about the matter for a while, in the manner in which he trained me to think, Swami Shivananda trained this Swami, I realized the wisdom of his reticence. Why he was not telling us the personal little details. The one trait which is totally absent in him and which he completely dislikes in anyone is idle curiosity and profitless talk, or as we call it, gossip. So we want to hear some gossip. Give us some gossip, okay? Yes. Who did he talk to? What were the people he was hanging around with, you know? What was in his life before they became a Swami? What was this? What was... We're all very much wanting the gossip, maybe for good reasons. We want to get to know the person more. You know, we're very curious. It's admiration, and we take this admiration to worldly lines. But the sage of steady wisdom will not gossip with us. And in a way, when you read this autobiography, this is how a saint gossips. And there was once a teacher in the ashram in the Bahamas where I used to live for some years, and he gave a program that's called Godly Gossip. So how does a saint gossip? Exactly like this. He's telling us all that we need to know about them as a teaching. He will give us only the parts that are a teaching, nothing that will get our mind excited in worldly directions, nothing that will just satisfy idle curiosity without giving us the extra benefit of a teaching. So this is the godly gossip. And Lord Krishna also is doing the same. Okay, you want to know more about what is a sage, what they look like, how they walk, how they talk. I will give you some godly gossip. Yeah? I will tell you really what this person is, not all those external things that matter not, because they change from one person to another person. Each one of them have their lila, their sport, how they appear to the world, which is designed to achieving the greater good, usually designed to invoke bhakti, to invoke devotion in the hearts of the students. But this lila is the external, it's not who they really are, so it doesn't matter. If you really are curious about the sage, I will teach you what he really is, through teaching you what their mind is like. And this is the message here. And we will see in the next talks how this information is presented and what can we learn from this for ourselves, even before we realized. So please join us for the next talks, for the continuation of the teachings. Om Shanti.